While many students choose not to care or even learn about certain issues, others remain ambitious and found ways to spread awareness despite the indifference they sometimes face.
Yasmin Al-Khudari, I'm a Palestinian from Gaza. I came to AUC in fall 2006, 3 years ago, and I'm graduating this semester. When I came to AUC, the first thing I did was join Al-Quds Club, which is the Palestinian Solidarity Group here at AUC. And ever since, I've been very involved, very active when it comes to Al-Quds Club and activism for Palestine. In Al-Quds Club, we did a lot of things for Palestine, including sit-ins or lectures, documentary screenings, cultural events, big events like Land Day, Debka. We joined International Day, we joined Ramadan around the world. We were always very active and we always represented Palestine. And what I think was a very good way and a very good presentation of the country and the people. And mixed reactions from AUC students when it came to political events or political events like sit-ins and lectures. Because some of them would appreciate what we're doing. They would be very interactive. They would be very engaged in the events. They would show a lot of interest and show a lot of sympathy. And what we want more than anything is interest and a genuine interest in learning about Palestine, because we don't want sympathy and tears. That's not what we're saying. We get that when people watch TV. That's the only thing they react to. They cry and they show sympathy. What we want is genuine interest in joining the club and learning about the cause and teaching others about the cause most importantly. So we used to get that small group of people who would be very interactive and very
So you're saying it's a small group, and it's not a big number, صح?
I can't generalize because we've had more than one event, we've had more than one audience. Keep in mind that we held events in the new campus and in the old campus, and this gave us very mixed audiences, very different audiences. And I can't really generalize because we've had a lot of, sometimes you have a group of students who, frankly they don't care about what's going on. They mimic speeches, they make fun of things.
In regard to this point, can you tell us about your experience during the sit-in that was held this semester on this same plot?
Okay, well, the sit-in we had here was in protest of the Israeli excavations in Al-Aqsa. We saw that the mosque was in threat, so we held a sit-in here. A lot of people showed up, surprisingly, even though we didn't have a lot of time to publicize for the event. A lot of people showed up, and there was a couple of speeches and moment of silence. I actually was a bit surprised that a lot of people showed up. Obviously, some of them were not interactive at all. Like some of them, I remember sat in the corner and they were laughing out loud while we were giving the speeches. Other people, other students, when we were giving out flyers, informing them about what's going on, it was like nothing but a fact sheet about what's going on in Palestine. Some of them would say, "I don't think I'm not interested." When we marched, we walked with the banners from Hus to the food court and back. Some of them say something, I think one of them said, "Long live Israel." So, and the thing is, these are very few people, but they stand out most because they give reactions that you're not expecting at all. Especially because we're protesting in an Arab country, a Muslim country, and yes, it's the American University in Cairo, on the other hand. So some of them come out as very surprising, very shocking. But at the same time, a lot of them were cooperative, a lot of them were actually listening during the speeches, and I could see that. I was standing here facing no audience, and I could see that some of the people were actually listening. They gave us their ears, they gave us their attention, and that is something we come to appreciate because, frankly, not a lot of people are willing to listen. And a lot of people were actually willing to join the walk as we walked from us to the food court. Some of the people actually stood up and asked us if they could hold the banners. That a lot of things.
Okay, were these people mixed? Did you have Arab students as well as American students, or do you feel like there's certain nationalities are more sympathetic, or is it the other way around?
No, I think it's very different according to the events. The sit-in, because it was public, because it was during assembly hour, and because we had a very mixed audience, and it was during assembly hour, it was very mixed, quick. It was break time for most students in AUC, so it didn't require anyone to come to an event and show up for an event and skip class or stay after class. So it was very easy. It was easy to access. It was very easy for people to come to the event. So we got a mixed audience. Egyptians more than anything, more than American students, more than I mean all the Palestinians were sitting, all the Lebanese were standing with us. The Egyptians were the audience, most of it, and then we had a few study abroads, maybe non-Egyptian Arabs, you know, a good mix of nationalities. But then when we organize events like an awareness week, a film series, like a lecture, most of the time, all we get is American students, study abroad students who are interested in the conflict. And this was actually very disappointing at times because we would have something like a commemoration of Land Day, a commemoration of Yasser Arafat's death, a commemoration of Independence Day, and we'd only get the American students. Very few, if any, Egyptian students, and Arab students in general.
Why do you think these American students come to these events? You know, do they do it for awareness or because of their dedication to the cause? What do you feel like they're...
I feel it's different. Again, you can't generalize here because you have a few students who are really interested in Palestine, who feel the injustice that their government is taking part in. They know that America, at least the government, like I said, and the lobbies and the Congress, they're not doing anything to help the Palestinian cause. If anything, they're making it worse. So I feel like a lot of the American students feel some sort of guilt and obligation to do something that the government is failing to do. That's one thing, that's one part of the audience. Another group would be, those who are interested, they come to the Middle East for 4 months and, why not experience everything, including Palestine, because especially that they're in Egypt and most of them here are here to learn political science, international relations, Middle East studies, and so this kind of fits in with their studies, it fits in with what they're doing, what they're interested in. So that's one other factor. And then you have students who, come because they adopt an opposing view. And they come here for a reason. They come to argue, they come to listen to the other side, if that's how you call it. So yeah, you have a very mixed group of American students, a very mixed group of study abroad students who come to the events for one reason or the other.
Okay. Is there anything happy to add?
No, I think I said everything I wanted to do. Overall, it's been a very pleasant experience. I've had some experiences.
Yasmin, tell us about what you're planning to do now, since you're graduating this semester. What do you want to do? What are your plans for the future? Are you going to go back to Palestine? What's the kind of work that you're looking for?
Yes, I'm looking to go back to Palestine in the spring and the summer, inshallah. I want to work maybe a human rights organization or an NGO. And then next fall, I'm applying for my master's. My plan is to do my master's in conflict resolution and diplomacy because I know that in the future I want to be a politician in Palestine and do something to change the situation more.
Okay, thank you.
The sit-in, because it was public, because it was during assembly hour, and because we had a very mixed audience, and it was during assembly hour, it was right next to quick. It was break time for most students in AUC, so it didn't require anyone to come to an event and show up for an event and skip class or stay after class. So it was very easy. It was easy to access. It was very easy for people to come to the event. So we got a mixed audience. Egyptians more than anything, more than American students, more than all the Palestinians were sitting, all the Lebanese were standing with us. The Egyptians were the audience, most of it, and then we had a few study abroads, maybe non-Egyptian Arabs, a good mix of nationalities. But then when we organize events like an awareness week, a film series, like a lecture, most of the time, all we get is American students, study abroad students who are interested in the conflict. And this was actually very disappointing at times because we would have something like a commemoration of Land Day, a commemoration of Yasser Arafat's death, a commemoration of Independence Day, and we'd only get the American students. Very few, if any, Egyptian students, and Arab students in general.